Okay, hey. This song's from Katana Zero. Really sweet game if you haven't played it before. Pretty cool, pretty cool. We talked about Gina Carano earlier today. Gotta talk about her some more. There's something else. Of course, you know, everyone's been talking about it. Everyone's been talking about it. And I see them just like, man, do I really want to be talking about what everyone else talks about? Here I am. Here I am doing it. But it's interesting. You have Gina Carano, who, of course, if you're a fan of The Mandalorian, you know who she is. If you don't know if you're not a fan of The Mandalorian or not even a Star Wars fan, you probably know who she is today. I mean, she was trending on Twitter. Fire Gina Carano. I stand for Gina Carano. We love Gina Carano. Hire Gina Carano. I don't know. You think Disney's gonna hire her back? The backlash has been pretty intense. Disney pissed off the fans by getting rid of Gina Carano for nothing, for a problematic tweet or Instagram post. Bull crap. And we're going to get into that. And we're also going to get into if it was problematic, it was an appalling post for her, then what about Pedro Pascal? Because he's still there. So what did Gina Carano do? What was her crime? She expressed her opinion. She expressed her opinion through an Instagram post that compared how conservatives, Trump supporters are treated like that of Jews. On surface level, some people are like, oh, that could be a problem. Jews in Nazi Germany, I should specify. Oh, that could be appalling. Oh, that's problematic. At the same time, there have been many people on the left very vocal about comparing Trump supporters to that of Nazis. You know, it's crazy. If the crime is trivializing the pain of the Jewish people, then they missed the point. But if the crime is that, then what about all those that trivialize what really happened in Nazi Germany by comparing people who wear red hats and want just that believe in America, that want America to be better? Come on, man. Look, what the post was, I'll bring it on the screen here. Let me go ahead and put it on the screen here, and we'll look at some. This article pretty much covers it all. So let me go and put it on the screen here. Take care of that. Oh, that's old news. That's old news right there. Disregard that. How you guys doing today? I was like, am I really gonna am I gonna stream? I'll be honest with you. I was like, man, I'm not feeling it. I'm kind of feeling it. I was playing a game. I was playing Operation Warlock, and I wanted to I was getting further in that game, but I was like, you know what? No, let's not be lazy. Let's do this. Let's talk about this. Okay, I like this. Two Mandalorian actors make Nazi Holocaust analogies months apart. Lucasfilm fires the conservative one. And that's exactly what happened here. Pedro was given a pass because he's a lefty. I think I broke my lighter. I think it threw it down a little. With a little too much disregard there. I don't like that thing. I hope I didn't break it. Oh yeah, look at these posts. We'll go back to that. Her post that she shared on Instagram said this: Jews were beaten in the streets. not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children, which is true. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them for simply being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Now, the takeaway here, what's going on here is, it is comparing what's happening now to what's happening over there, or what happened in Nazi Germany. What's happening right now, you just can look at the news to see it, is that Trump supporters, conservatives, are being vilified, being dehumanized, and you see it. Being likened to that of ISIS, being likened to that of terrorists. What? I mean, they're talking about re-education camps. They're talking about using anti-terrorist tactics against civilians for just having a different political view. If you don't see what the problem of that is, then I'm sorry, you're lost. You're lost. Look, it's very simple. This post isn't necessarily about the Jewish people or the Jews during Nazi Germany, but it's about how the Germans got there, how the Germans went from being Germans to being Nazis, to where they would terrorize and attack and assault. Just they're people that the government said are these monsters, that the government said are these evil people. I mean, that's what's happening now. You have Democratic politicians that one side of their mouth will say unity, the other side they'll say, fuck those Republicans. We don't want those Republicans. Maybe we need to re-educate them. Maybe they need to make them repent. It's insane. That's the post. That's the post that got her in trouble. Meanwhile, actually before that, Pedro Pascal posted this. Compared kids in concentration camp to that of the Mexican kids that come across the border, that are held in detainment facilities that were, sure, Trump used them, Obama built them, and they're still used now by Biden. But no one cares. No one cares, right? But let's say, the thing is, the comparison, it wouldn't call it, if you want to talk about trivializing the plight of the Jewish people, the Jewish kids in that concentration camp were killed. They were killed systematically. These kids here are detained until they are find where they can go. Send them back, or send them to whatever city I guess we'll take them. They're held for in totally different situations too. In Nazi Germany, they were round up because they were Jews. They were citizens, but they were Jewish citizens, so they're just round up and put in these camps. These kids, unfortunately, are not citizens. They just came across the border with parents, maybe parents, I don't know. That's questionable, and that does happen. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll say their situation sucks, but is it anywhere really comparison to that of the kids in Nazi Germany? At least Jewish kids? No, not at all. Not at all. Anyway, so but Pedro made that comparison, and he's okay. He's fine. Nothing happens to him. He could trivialize the horrible, the atrocity that is the Holocaust. He could trivialize that with this post here. If that is the crime, if that is why Gina was fired. But if Gina does it, If Gina makes a post that makes a little comparison of, to the Jewish people, that's a problem. That's a problem. Gina Carano can't do that. Now, they've been wanting to get rid of Gina Carano for a while now. And when I say they, I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking Disney, because Disney hates the fans. Disney fucking hates you. If you're a fan of Star Wars, they hate you. How else do you explain Kathleen Kennedy? How else do you explain how they... Look, I used to be a pretty big Star Wars fan. But this recent trilogy, if you like that, if you actually like all three of those movies and you're a fan of them, then you're a fucking mundane Matt. That's fucking horrible. What's wrong with you? The first one, Force Awakens, I could forgive you if you like that, because it's sort of like a homecoming. It's sort of like a reunion. It's like, okay, haven't seen this in a while. You let things slide. Though that third act was total bullshit. It was like, where's this fucking Super Death Star or Super Star Destroyer, Super whatever shit they called it coming from? What the fuck? That's my reaction when I first saw the movie of Force Awakens. Okay, everything happens. They get back to their little base thing. And next thing you know, we're talking about destroying a Death Star, a Mega Death Star. It's like, why are we doing this again? Come on now. I've seen this already. Don't you have another idea? No, you don't. I could forgive you, though. But the second two, or the second one and the third one, Jesus. Nah, if you think those are quality films, if you like them, that's horrible. That's horrible. And that is the product of a company that hates the fans. Because there was plenty of content to work with. Oh, man, there was plenty of Star Wars lore to work with. Plenty of fan novels that were endorsed, that were given the A-OK by Lucasfilm, by George Lucas. So they were not necessarily canon, but they were treated as such. They did better extending the universe than what fucking Disney did. Anyway, let me get that lighter. I want to make sure it's okay. Yeah, it's still good. It's still good. That's good to me. Yeah. So, yeah, Gina Carano can make a post, compare what's going on with conservatives and Trump supporters to that of the Jewish people. And I could kind of understand maybe the knee-jerk reaction. Because it's not like conservatives are being rounded up and put into camps. That's not what's happening here. But you do have the vilification, the dehumanization. I don't even say the right word. Dehumanization. You are stripping conservatives of layers of humanity to where all what's seen there is just a monster. I mean, you have it now. You literally had a couple days ago a woman complaining that her neighbor is a Trump supporter and was nice to her. Where she was complaining that her neighbor was nice enough to like plow or plow the snow out of her driveway or whatever. But he was a Trump supporter, so he's a Nazi, so it's evil. So she was conflicted about what she could do. And this isn't like an exception. It isn't some like outlier. Jesus Christ, I can barely talk right now. There's a lot of people who think this way. There's a lot of people that see conservatives, that see Trump supporters as just evil people. Evil, hurtful people. Which is not the case. Sure, I mean, they're bad apples. Yeah, sure. I'll be willing to say that. But I don't think the other side would be willing to say that. Come on. How can you hate me when you don't even know me? How about that? How about that? No, but seriously. No, you have it already. Where people are, they see Trump supporters, conservatives, as just evil people. And what do you do with evil people? Well, you will excuse when the government uses violence on them. That's what happens. In fact, you might even just applaud that. You might actually want that to happen. No. Like I said, Pedro could make a similar thing. He's just fine. He's just fine. It sucks, man. And like, what's gonna happen now? Like, is Disney really gonna cave to the pressure and reverse their decision? I don't think so. If they do, will Gina take it? I mean, that's up to her. I mean, shit, it's a gig. She might as well take it. But that being hired by a company who fired you over something like that, and then being rehired, no, that's stupid. I don't know, man. That's a weird fucking feeling right there. That's no good. That's not good at all. They called her post abhorrent. I'm sorry. Abhorrent and unacceptable. Okay. All right. See, here's the other thing. Pedro Pascal posted this. Losers in 1865. All right, Confederates. Okay, losers in 1945. Okay, Nazis. Okay, losers in 2020. Okay. You could say, well, okay, he's comparing MAGA hat wearing people to that of Nazis and KKK, which is a false equivalence. But you know what? That's his opinion. I don't agree with his post. That's his opinion. He can post that. I don't give a shit. I don't care. But if Gina posts something like that, made some sort of weird comparison, or said something that was of a different opinion of that on the other side, they flip out and they want to get rid of her. Like I said, they've been trying to get rid of her for a while. And you probably know she's been pretty vocal about her opinions on gender. I went into that earlier today. I'm not going to go into that again because I don't have to, because I'm going to get into that subject for a different reason. That is, in the UK, they are getting rid. No, they've already gotten rid of breastfeeding. They have replaced breastfeeding with chest feeding. I'm not joking. I'm not joking about that. They have replaced breastfeeding with chest feeding. Why? To be more inclusive with transgender people. It's breastfeeding. It's breastfeeding. Redefining these terms or coming up with new terms to try to suit transgender people is not going to be good. It's not a good idea. Breastfeeding is when a mom feeds her baby, from her breast. Why would you need to change that? Human milk comes from a breast. Oh, but it's not called breast milk anymore. They changed it from breast milk to chest milk. Why? Because they're fucking retarded. That's why. Because it's not. Because apparently science says the science of feels, the science of bullshit, the science of Dr. Seuss made of gobbledygook, whatever, it's not. Human milk doesn't come from breasts. It comes from chests. Men have chests, too. Yeah, but men don't produce milk. Well, maybe they could one day. We don't know. Where's the science in that? I cannot stand the people who support this stuff and then also have the gall to say support science or science says this on any other fucking issue. It's like you have to be on your goddamn mind. You don't need to change breastfeeding to chest feeding. It makes no fucking sense. It's breastfeeding. Men that transition to women don't even bear kids. What the fuck are you talking about? They don't even have a uterus. They don't even have a vagina. They have a mutilated penis. It's inverted. Okay? It's a wound. And that is a fact. Fact, you want to look it up? Look into it. Look, I am not hateful. I have no problem with trans people. Okay? You want to be trans, you be trans all the way. Okay? If you're a dude that wants to try to be a chick, you go ahead, you do you. But now we're at the point where you're wanting to redefine society to fit your lifestyle. Fuck that. Fuck that. It's bullshit. Now I feel like you're trying to get us all to believe in whatever nonsense is in your goddamn head. I'm not about that. I'm done with that. I'm not enabling that shit. Neither should you. So a man wants to say he's a woman and try to breastfeed a newborn. That has to be super fucking awkward. Come on now. The doctors and nurses at the hospital have to be so fucking confused and like, why is that 30-year-old hairy-chested man putting the newborn to his nipple? Oh, he thinks he's a woman, but isn't he the dad? Well, yeah, but he's a woman now. He doesn't lactate, right? He knows he doesn't lactate. Yeah, but it's like he's fucking retarded. He's delusional. I mean, how's he explain this shit, man? Oh God. It's insane. It's insane. And that sort of opinion, that basic opinion that most people agree with, is something that if you were to say on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook would be considered problematic. And something that the left would go after you on because they're idiots. They're the same idiots that be like, science is global warming, is we're doom and gloom or whatever, or science says we all need to wear 2 masks. Okay, you'd be like, okay, maybe. I don't know about the 2 masks thing. That's silly. I mean, the masks don't seem to work. Hey, if the masks were working, all those places that had like really strict lockdowns, like in LA, where people were wearing masks, they were forced to wear masks, yet the numbers skyrocket. Explain that one, genius. Explain that one, fucking geniuses. Come on, you can't. I tell you how you explain it. The masks don't work. They don't work. Oh, but you can't talk about that. And 2 masks is fucking retarded. You can't talk about that either. Because the science is there. Oh, but we haven't really tested it. Oh, you could just look at all the places that have a lot of fucking cases and what sort of lockdown measures that they have. Really strict, really strict. Is it working? No, it's not. Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. Let's compare that to other places. Oh, but okay. The data is there. Just like how there's plenty of data, plenty of research to show that there's differences between men and women, fundamental differences, physiological differences, biological differences, but they just want to throw that all away. That there's no difference and that gender's a construct and you could just pretend to be whatever you want. What the fuck? What are we talking about? No. You got a dick and balls, you're a man. You got a pussy, you're a woman. Plain and simple. You got both. You're the exception to the rule. You're a hermaphrodite. What the fuck? Just because a dude with a dick of balls, just because his dick doesn't produce offspring, just because his sperm is no good, doesn't make him not a man. It just makes him, well, he's sterile. That's all it is. It's fucking easy to explain. It's so fucking easy. But they just don't get it. They don't get it. And because of the retarded nonsense was taught and encouraged and promoted, we get to hear. We get to hear to where it is now in the UK that breastfeeding is now chest feeding. Oh, and mothers are no longer called mothers. They're called childbearing parent. Childbearing parent. What? It's like, we aren't robots. We're not aliens. You could talk to each other like a human being. Childbearing parent. No. I hear that shit. It makes me go, just what a turn it off. Turn off the program. I'm done. I'm done with this game. Turn it off. Can we turn this off now? Because this is insane. Flat out freaking insanity. What do you guys think about this? You support it? You like it? Oh man, it's crazy. And I live in Texas. I think some people have an idea, like Houston area. Okay. All right. But it's happening here. Well, the wokeness is happening. Not the chest feeding thing. That would be pretty bizarre, I would imagine. But maybe not too far-fetched, because already it's happening. Even though the doctor delivered a girl, and you could tell it's a girl, the doctor, I've heard stories from my neighbor, I heard stories from other people, where it's like the doctor will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to misgender the baby." But as when the doctor delivers the baby and brings it to the room and says, "Here you go, ma'am. You got a beautiful baby girl." You will don't be surprised if they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to misgender." Like, you're a doctor, right? You saw what it is. It's a girl. It's a girl. Okay. It's not complicated. It's not fucking complicated. I guess biology, physiology, it means nothing anymore. It means nothing anymore. Ignore that science, but embrace the fucking social science, the soft sciences, the ones that don't mean fucking anything. It's bullshit, man. Now, one thing I wanted to add here is, with this insanity, how do you stay positive with this stuff? Because earlier at the stream, it got pretty black-pilled, pretty like doom and gloom. Like, I was talking. The subject was about American politics and the way things are ramping up, and how the divide is greater than ever. And I really don't see any unity coming anytime soon at all. Not at some national level. No, that's over with. And I believe that it's over with. Maybe I will be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong and something will happen. We'll see. But believe it or not, I'm not like super depressed about that. I'm not like slitting my wrists and crying in the shower listening to Linkin Park or some shit. No. I got what's important around me, and I keep that around me, and I stay engaged in that. See, while things go, I mean, things out of our control just continue to spiral in ways we don't understand, we don't agree with. It's just what is going on. We don't really control those things. Like when it comes to politics, especially American politics, as Americans, we don't really control much of that, do we? They say vote. You vote for your guy. But the guy you voted for was just a corporate shill. Or you voted for the guy. He said a bunch of stuff, but he didn't do it. He didn't do half the stuff he said he was going to do. You get a lot of that. And you get it to where the politicians are more interested in appeasing whatever corporate bidding, whatever the interests that fill their pockets, that line their pockets, are also more interested in making sure they retain the power, that they keep the power by destroying the other parties that are around them. I'm not worried about that necessarily. I mean, I'm worried about that a little bit, I suppose, but there's not much I could do about that. There's not much you could really do about that. And worrying about that stuff, what good does it do? It stresses you out. I'll talk about it. I'll kind of vent about it, rant about it. But what I do, and I think this is important for a lot of people, is I don't dwell in that stuff. I engage in things that make me happy, like, you know, family. Like I spend a lot of time with my son and my daughter, little things. It could be, you know, playing with my daughter, teaching her how to ride a bike. Also my son, playing Legos with my son. It might sound kind of lame, maybe, I guess, but as a dad, it's great to me. I love that stuff. You know, spending time with my wife, spending time with with the relatives. That's good. And these are relatives that we don't agree politically. Like we're very far apart, but we both agree that the system's fucked. Look at that. I try to keep myself engaged in things other than politics as hard as I can. Because it is depressing. It does get depressing. So if there's something in your life that you know you really shouldn't get into, you know you shouldn't focus on so much because it depresses you. Maybe it's like your job. I mean, that's another thing I can relate to. You know, my job is kind of fucking depressing. Do not care much about it as far as the gritty and the dirty details of it all. It does get pretty depressing, and a lot of people can relate to that, right? Maybe the job you work is kind of mind-numbingly dumb and dull and has no real prospects, no real. I mean, maybe it's a warehouse job, maybe it's working at a call center or whatever you do. Okay, so you have to take your mind on other things. You have to have other hobbies, other interests that fulfill your life. Otherwise, you're just doing nothing, and you're hating yourself for it. You're hating your life. You're hating those around you. You're hating, you're just lashing out. Or you're channeling it inward, and it's just going to destroy you. At least it could, in a way. I mean, so yeah, when it comes to, let's say, job, or I know the thing I shouldn't get into that much, like politics or whatever, and it's like, I do distract myself. I say distract, try to get myself away from it. I find what I really value, and I focus on that. A lot of people, they struggle in trying to they struggle with where they find value. They need reassurance of their worth through others. And if that's your case, if that's your situation, well, you got to ask yourself why. Like, why is it that I'm looking for some sort of reassurance from, let's say, like my boss or people that strangers on the internet? You know, why is it that I'm looking to them for self-worth? Why is that? I mean, that's a question that you have to answer. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to chill for a moment, talk about the Gina Carano thing, vent about the whole chest feeding thing there. That thing is absolutely ridiculous. That makes no freaking sense to me at all. I just don't get it. I don't get it here. I mean, it's like they're trying to replace women. They're trying to get rid of women. I don't know. I don't know. Because how else do you explain it? You got men saying they're women, competing with women, gonna be dominating women. You got men saying that they're women, saying that they can breastfeed now, saying that they're moms too now. I'd say, okay, all right. You know, we are part of the problem in that we have enabled this for far too long. And people have been afraid to put their foot down on where to draw the line on acceptance and tolerance, and also then just flat out delusion. And that's where we're at. We're at flat out fucking delusion. We're in crazy town. Nothing wrong with accepting and tolerating intolerance of trans people. If you want to be trans, you be trans. I don't have a problem with that. But when we're redefining terms, if that's what you want to be called, why don't you ask for that instead of changing the system to what you want? Especially when you are the minority. Y'all don't even make what, like 2% of the population, of the global population. What is the size? And I mean real trans. I'm not talking like teenagers who are just going through a moment because they think they could be, and they find out, they realize that they're not, and they freak out. That shit happens quite a bit, more often now. Because being trans is like being gay. How being gay was in the 90s. Being gay was trendy and cool in the 90s. That shit's real. How trans is that? Okay. And there's a lot of people getting wrapped up thinking that they're trans, but they are just caving to peer pressure. That happens. That's been documented too. There's science behind that as well. Yeah. I'll wrap up the stream here. For those that watch, thanks, man. I don't normally stream on Thursday nights, but yeah, y'all take it easy. Y'all take it easy.